We're from Minnesota out here, okay? So first we have to ask, how's your family and how's the weather? And you can answer just fine if you'd like.
Family's doing well. I've got a 2-week-old baby boy named Ozzy, and so I'm not sleeping a whole lot yet, but I'm very happy. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
thank you. The other thing is, I went on Facebook and I asked my friends to give me questions for you. So,
Mhm.
what was normal in your family?
Well, I think what was normal was that it was just a family job, in the sense that everybody happened to be famous, but like my grandparents on my dad's side, Oz and Harriet, they just, it was their job. They were good at it. They did it for a long time, but they were very humble about it. They knew they were very fortunate to do what they loved. My dad was the same way, and it just was always impressive to me that they made such a difference in people's lives to the point of where people would ask
Yes.
them for autographs or whatever. But what really impressed me was that they always took time for people. They always, if somebody came up to them, they would talk to them. They would engage with them. They wouldn't just blow them off like so many, air quote celebrities do. And my brother and I have tried to continue in that tradition as well because we were taught that we're fortunate to do what we love to do. So I think that was the normal thing that we're talking about, is that they never acted like they were above anybody else or looked down on people, and I think that was really important to grow up around.
What a nice thing to say. That's appreciate. Do you think you missed out on anything living in a family with the limelight like that?
The only thing I can say, there are far more blessings than curses. But the only time that it's really not been a whole lot of fun was that I found out my father was dead on the radio.
Oh,
And, I was living with him at the time, and we were best friends. Gunnar and I were supposed to be on the plane with him when the plane went down, and I had listened to a couple of songs that played on the radio, and I was excited to hear them, and the disc jockey came on, and he was really choked up, and he mentioned that it was a tribute to Rick Nelson, who was killed in a plane crash earlier today with his band, and I literally passed out from the horror of that minute. And normally with people, anybody, they always say, well, they're withholding the names until the family can be notified. And when you come from a family like mine, those rules go out the window. So that's, and of course, if you choose to be in entertainment, the fact is you open yourself up for scrutiny and that type of thing. And I'm okay with it. It toughens you up a little bit. But, I have to say that for the most part, I've really enjoyed, I got to say, I really enjoy having the circumstances that I have and being who I am and experiencing what I've experienced. I would be remiss and I would be wrong if I said that I didn't have a bunch of wonderful things happen to me that probably wouldn't have had I not grown up in my environment. My father was definitely a musician that loved to play live concerts, and my brother Gunnar and I are the same way. We've definitely, and truthfully speaking, Harry used to say that my grandfather Ozzy always used to think that the television show was a fad that was going to get canceled, and then he could go out on the road with his big band and play his music again. And it just kept getting renewed. So he got to live a little vicariously through our father, but at the core of everybody, it's all been about singing and live music, including my grandmother. And so it's a wonderful tradition, and it's something that we've really enjoyed meeting people all over the world in our concerts, and we usually meet them after the shows and shake their hands, and it just seems to be getting bigger and better.
That brought up another question to me. What would you all get together and have a jam session, or just play like in the rec room or something like that?
Well, I did with my pop a few times. The truth of the matter was, he was when I started performing or started playing. Gunnar and I were about 7 years old, and he was on the road a lot.
Yes.
And I remember he kept coming back, and he was astonished that we didn't put the instruments down. We just kind of kept going. And I remember we were old. It was our 12th birthday, and he did something one step better. He surprised us with he told us that we had a dentist appointment on our birthday, which is not a great thing to have, thinking you're going to get your teeth drilled on your birthday at 12. And so we kind of had crummy attitudes, and our mom came and picked us up at school, and she was late, and it was just, wow, this birthday's really stinking. And I remember she pulled up to this building we hadn't been to before, and she said, okay, I'm going to go park the car. Why don't you go in? Somebody's got to get in the chair because we're late. You got to get your fillings. And evidently, we walked into this room, and I saw a flash of what I thought was chrome. And I looked a little closer, and I said, wow, that looks like Gunnar's drum set. And then I looked a little closer, and it looked like my little bass guitar was there. And I saw my dad waving from behind some glass. It turned out to be a recording studio. And our birthday present was he recorded us doing our first song we ever wrote. And so we actually recorded a song for our birthday gift at 12. And the family kept coming down. More family members came down. We had our cake in the control room there, and these great ladies came in and sang background vocals on this little song that we did. It turned out they were the Pointer Sisters. I mean, only my dad could put something together like that. And I just remember I still had pictures of that night, and he was so proud of us, and we just kind of kept it going. And I just remember right before he passed away, he used to come to our concerts. He'd kind of hide in the back, and right before he died, we were living with him, at his house up there on Mulholland Drive, and it was about 4 a.m. after one of our shows. We were in the kitchen, and he said, I just want to tell you that I love you. I said, well, I love you too, Pop. He said, no, I want you boys to know that I admire you as my peers. I consider you my peers in music. And we all just kind of cried. It was one of those really amazing moments, and then we lost him about a month later. So it was neat that I got a chance to get that kind of validation from my musical and personal hero. And I feel him around, especially when we do this show. You'll see. This is not the kind of show we do because we have to. It's the show we do because we love it.
Hello, Mary Lou. A goodbye heart. Sweet Mary Lou, I'm so in love with you. I knew Mary Lou, we'd never part. So hello, Mary Lou, goodbye heart. I'm a traveling man, made a lot of stops all over the world, and in every port I own the heart of at least one lovely girl. It's late, we gotta get on home, it's late, we've been gone too long, too bad, should've checked our time, we can't phone, we done spent every dime. Alright now, I learned my lesson well, you see you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself.